Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Faithful Dogs. I'm Ted of Ted Talks Ball, 49ers fan, hence the Faithful. This is Big Mike from the Man Cave 10. He's a big Browns fan, hence the Dawgs. Mike, how are you doing this fine Thursday?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Glad to
Hope
hear
you're
it.
doing well too.
Yeah, no, things are pretty good. This has been a great week for 49ers fans. Let's be honest. We beat the Seahawks.
hmm
Who had real ownage over us when Russ was here. They're 17-4 against us with Russ Wilson, and since he's left, we're 5-0. Jimmy beat him once, the game that Trey Lance got injured in. So I guess technically Trey Lance and Jimmy beat them, but I don't count Lance since it was like less than a quarter. Um, and Yeah, and then Brock Purdy's 4-0 against the Sweep Talks. I'm calling them the Sweep Talks now because we swept them last year, 2 regular season games, the playoff game. Now swept them again this year, 2 regular season games. And then
Oh yeah.
obviously, the Cowboys beat the Eagles, which is huge because we needed help to get into first place to get the number 1 seed for the playoffs. That's not assured, obviously, but as of right now, that's where we sit. And feels good to be in first place. And we were the first team to lock up a playoff spot this week. So all 31 other teams are, I guess I'm sure there have been some that have been eliminated, but
There's only
you know,
two.
that have been eliminated. So
Carolina
29 other
Patriots
teams
are
are
the
still
only
vying.
ones.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's
So I
crazy.
mean,
This late in the season, that 30 teams are still fighting or still could be playoff. That is nuts.
yeah, and the Niners have a lot of injuries, but um, it sounds like Moody Ward could play this week. Last I heard, I got to check for updates. Honestly, I haven't been keeping up with it very well. But right initially after the game, or on Monday or Tuesday, whenever Kyle talked, he said that Mooney Ward and Hargrave could both possibly play against the Cards, and I'm honestly fine with both of them sitting against the Cards and save them for the Ravens on Christmas Day. That's our big, bugaboo. And then like Armstead, he could be back too, maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard much on him. But then like there's some like, I hate to say additions by subtraction, but like Spencer Burford, our right guard, like Feliciano is playing well, man. I said it before the last week in my preview article. Like if Burford doesn't play, like that might be better. Our offensive line might be better with Feliciano than Burford in there because he played well for Aaron Banks when Aaron Banks was out, and he'd already played one game against the Eagles. Um, at right guard with Spencer Burford being out. And I don't know. I feel like Feliciano's a little meaner. He's the cagey veteran compared to Burford. I think he'll grow into being a good lineman eventually, but we're win now, obviously. 2 win now to develop quarterbacks. We're 2 win now to develop O linemen too, I think. So that's a long intro. Sorry about that. A lot going on in Ireland, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the Browns won over the weekend.
Yeah, they did their job. That's why I don't know the bare heads gone, all that. Yeah, they handled business.
That's awesome. And Flacco played well, I understand.
Yeah, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns. No, I mean, he looked good. I mean, it's funny how he could just come off the couch and say, "You know what? Here I am." Dust it off and just start chucking that ball around.
Yeah, he is, as long as you protect him, he's a good quarterback. He's tall, he's got a big arm, he throws a real nice deep ball. It's just, obviously he's not going to outrun anybody if someone comes free on a blitz or
No,
a
don't
pass
worry
rush.
about that. He's smart enough to dump that ball off to a check down real quick. And
There you
we
go.
got a good line, even though there's some injuries on it. That he's good.
And then I had made the assumption that Trevor Lawrence wasn't going to play, but he did play,
Yeah,
and he
they
wasn't very
still
good.
won.
Maybe he shouldn't have played.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they should have sat him that week because now you got the Ravens and you're fighting for your lives right now because they lose this. You know, you still got the Texans and the Colts, even though it looks like Stroud's probably not going to play. The Colts lost last week. I mean, they can still have that spot, but if they're not healthy going into the playoffs, they're just going to be a team that gets beat out real quick.
There you go. And I forgot to mention another addition by subtraction. This one's going to shock a lot of people, but Talanoa Hufanga tore his Achilles, his ACL, and our rookie Jair Brown has stepped in, and the kid is balling. He's absolutely balling. I'm not going to say he's better than Hufanga long term, but I'd say he's been a little better than what I would have expected to see from Hufanga in these last 2.5 games. And I worried about Hufanga's leadership, but then I saw him giving a speech before a game to all the DBs. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying get rid of Hufanga or anything, especially because Gibson will probably be gone next year, and it'll probably be Hufanga and Jair Brown. But like, I expected at least some drop off there, and we really haven't seen that. And so, obviously, we're hurting on depth. That's why we signed Logan Ryan, and also Jason Verrett now has been signed to the practice squad. But anyway, it's kind of interesting when you talk about injuries, and sometimes it's unusual, but sometimes they don't hurt you. I mean, I guess you might say the same thing for DTR and Flacco, right?
Listen, maybe that one, but the problem is now we have all these guys on IR. We just added 3 of them to it, season ending.
This week?
Yes,
after
3 of them just yesterday. 3 just went right on it.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Our defensive depth just went down the drain. Like we lost what? Delpit's done for the season. He could be back for the playoffs. Maurice Hurst, Peck, tear. He's out. He's done. And then
Mo Hurst. We know Mo, and Raiders do too. And poor guy just is always injured. He's a real good player. Solid.
He was doing great. Then he had a good game, and he tore. I don't know when he tore it,
real good run defender. Not bad as a pass rusher. Yeah, but always hurt. Always hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. Then
who's the third? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Ocarano, our third edge. Same thing. It's a Peck issue, but they don't know if it's going to be season ending. But I'm pretty sure it's season ending. So our whole defensive depth just went down the drain yesterday.
Oh man, that's a bummer, especially Delpit because he's an actual starter too. So.
Yeah, and they just signed him. They just signed him an extension too, and all that happened.
Hate that. I never root for injuries, like I said, but I also do pay attention to them. And I do comment on them. We've got the Real Fresh channel in the house, saying break a leg. He's coming to us from our Let's Talk Sports DM group. Thanks for joining Real Fresh. Be sure and check out his channel. We got the Back It Up Binge podcast in the house. Make sure you check out their
channels out. They got good content across the board with them too.
There you go. We got Red Jet Shell in the house. I saw her this morning on with Terradome. And Terradome and I had beef all off season about Trey Lance and Purdy. And she's like, you guys need to sell him. Like, settle it. Like, I'm all good with Terradome. He was right. I mean, even to the point of like Terradome made a Steph Curry type reference to Brock Purdy. And I just laughed at him this summer. But now that Purdy is hitting deep balls, like, I can kind of see that a little bit more because that was my whole thing. Like Steph Curry is like the greatest deep ball shooter in NBA history. Like, and Purdy was not good at throwing deep balls in 2022. I'm like, I'm sorry. I saw him more as like I said, like CP3, like a younger CP3, not this version, but who could distribute, but maybe not jack the deep threes. But now Purdy is like throwing deep balls like crazy, including on Sunday. He had a nice one to Debo, nice one to Kittle, a nice one to Ayuk. I mean, I had to raise him up in my QB rankings, Mike. I mean, I got him up to 3-7 in the league now, which is crazy. But it's just like each week he does well and does stuff like that. I got to keep moving him up. And somebody's like, well, that's a big range at that low. Like, narrow it down. I said, okay, I'll narrow it down. It's 3-7. Like, and I think I'll narrow it down if I go like 2-6, 1-5. And then it'd be like 1-4, 1-3, 1-2, 1-1. I think that's how I'll do it if it continues. But I don't know that the season's long enough to ever get to 1-1. I think he would need several years to catch up to Mr. Mahomes.
That's a big crybaby, that dude, man.
Shoot, you're not.
I can't stand Kermit crying like he was over that game.
That was crazy. It's crazy. And the guy was offsides. So what are you going to do?
Yes, like he's never got flags to go his direction that weren't supposed to be flags in one
Oh,
game.
Jesus. Look at our Super Bowl. Look at our Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, he did it twice against the Bengals. He got flags that shouldn't have been thrown, and they were thrown in his favor so he could win the game or extend his drive so he could win the game. I mean, it's ludicrous that he cried that much. Even went up to Josh Allen and shaking his hand, crying to him like he was going to be like, "You're right."
Yeah. Right. Right. You're right. Nancy Cameron in the house. What's up, Nancy? Thanks for joining.
Going on.
Oh, there's me. Technical difficulty.
Oh,
Yeah, Mike's computer rebooted right as he was about to hop in here, so it took a few extra minutes. Hello, you sexy bunch of spud-faced cabbage lickers. So that is a compliment, I guess. Thanks. James Renault coming to us from across the pond over in England, so they have different kind of lingo over there. They said, like, I guess like a dog's bollocks, which is his balls, is actually a good thing over there. But I always just remember when English people say bollocks, they're just saying balls, then they're pissed.
Yeah.
But if you say dog's bollocks, it's like, oh yeah, because he's always like grooming it, taking care of them.
Yes, that's weird as hell.
Actually, it's a good thing to be a dog's bollocks. You get a lot of attention, I guess. Shell saying Mike Ted. Thanks, Shell. Can't remember if it's Mooney or Gravedigger has the groin pull. It was Mooney has the groin, and Hargrave has the hammy. I reported it because I was there at the game. I was at Levi's on Sunday. So I want them to sell at least a week. Those things. Yeah, I know exactly. No, it's just not worth it. Against the Cards, I don't think we'll need them. I mean, if we're trying to cover, maybe, but I want
to say that spread is what, 13.5. I'd take the points because I don't think it's going to be some crazy thing. I think it's going to be a good game.
Well, I mean, I said in my preview for the Seahawks, I said the Niners are due for a letdown. In other words, we're not going to cover. I said a letdown, but not a loss.
Yeah.
And we did. We had a letdown. We were not, we were losing 10-7. Things were not going our way the way they had been. Not like it was against the Eagles where we beat them 42-19. This was 28-16 against a much lesser team. So yeah. It was a letdown. And I said we wouldn't cover a 13.5 spread. By the time we got to the game, it was 14-point spread, which is just ridiculous, I think. But hey, but I guess we came close with 12. I said y'all need to get along, LOL, because Shell loves a teddy bear and Terradome. There you go. No, I have a lot of respect for Terradome. Like I said, in this case, he was right. I just, my thing is he wasn't right at the time, but I guess he saw something in Purdy, and that no one else saw. But there are a few people that were. I thought there was hyperbole. And I think some of it is still hyperbole, but the more and more he balls out, the less and less it's hyperbole. The more and more it's just like, yeah, we got to make these comparisons with the greats because he's playing great. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The stats he's putting up, the throws he's making, and it's not just the great throws. It's also just the lack of stinkers. Yeah. There's just nothing bad in his game. And most of the bad stuff that happened was right after his concussion in Minnesota. And then the next week when I don't think he should even have been playing against the Bengals, 5 days after or 6 days after a concussion. I don't think that's wise. So it's easy to make excuses at least. And then obviously the rain in Cleveland and all the injuries. So we got Jason, Captain Niner Massey in the house saying Talofa Faithful. That's Hello Faithful. And Samoan, welcome. He said, it's my stalker Red Jet. Great to have you guys in the chat, no doubt. Afternoon, gentlemen. Not the stalker. We got Shardal Gupta in the house, SG Sports Talk. Make sure you check out his channel. He's saying hi. We've got Little Spongy. He's a young Eagles fan. Yo, boo, 40 whiners. Hey, Spongy, you dropped 2 in a row, bro. What's going on out there in Philly land? It's sad to see, Sponge, but I'm sure you guys will turn it around against the Seahawks. But now I have to root for my most hated team this year. Also, that's the thing, though. Are the Seattle Seahawks my most hated team anymore? When you go 5-0 against a team in your last 5, I feel like the Cowboys have to start moving back up there again in their rightful position of number 1, and maybe Little Spongy's Eagles could be number 2. And maybe the Seahawks can drop to 3rd on the list. I don't know. It's food for thought. Something to think about. Start all saying hi and hi, gentlemen.
What's going on?
And Spongy's just laughing. There you go. Good man, Sponge. Oh wow, I'm way behind here. So let's see here. They're saying hi. It's going good. And I'm gonna click on. We're streaming to both channels, so I try to show every chat so that if you're in Mike's channel, you don't miss my chat, and if you're in my channel, you don't miss Mike's chat. If you could, everybody could open up. If you're on the browser, open up a second tab and watch us on both channels. Just be sure to mute one. I'm doing that right now as I speak. I gotta practice my own advice.
Yeah, I got that going.
But those views, they all add up. They all count. So we appreciate it. And if you're on my channel, get over to Mike's, give him a like and subscribe. If you're on Mike's, get over to me and give me a like and subscribe. It helps us out a ton. And I don't know why it's not playing. Oh, December 14th. That's today. It's weird. It doesn't look like it's playing on your channel.
Really?
Maybe
well, someone was on it, so I don't know. I saw someone come from it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Maybe it's just for me. I don't know. It just says one waiting scheduled for December 14th, 2 p.m. Weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
It says I'm live right now. It says when I go
okay,
up there,
good. As long as it's working for everybody else, that's the main thing. Everybody's saying hi. I got Lee Galland in the house. He's saying, hey, Ted, what's up, brother? So Lee Galland is a member of the 49ers Faithful UK. He is not just a member. I mean, come on. He's El Presidente of 49ers Faithful UK. They're the ones who took me to the Bucks game a couple weeks back. So I got to meet Lee in person, and Paul Hope and Nick Ludlum and all the guys. There's so many great guys in the 49ers Faithful UK. A lot of them do streams and do shows. If you ever get a chance, great guests, great folks, really knowledgeable and fun. And we had a blast that day at the game in the gold mine. We cheered our butts off, and so much fun, and just great to meet everybody for sure. So thanks for being here, Lee. Everybody's just saying hi. So I'm going to click through some of these if they're just saying hello. Oh boy, here we go. It's getting a little spicy. Shout out to Tommy DeVito.
That's right, Tommy the Meatball DeVito.
Yeah, he beat the Packers on Monday night.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Oh, looks like Mike froze us for a second there.
I got him beating the Saints this week.
You got him beating the Saints. Interesting, yeah. And it's really interesting, especially little Spongy here, this Philly special cards. He's going to get a kick out of this because, all along I was like, well, we got to root for the Seahawks this week to beat the Eagles because last 3 games they got Giants, and like, what are the chances of the Giants beating the Eagles? And now the chances are getting a little better with Tommy. I'd say a little better, more better. So, Chardall's flirting with one. Uh-oh. Keep it corporate, guys. Let's keep it in your pants, fellas. That's funny. Joe Flacco with a contract. Is this 2009? I don't know if he has like a multi-year contract. Yeah, I think it's just a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah, that's it for right now. I mean, I would keep him if we could keep him. Deshaun come back. I mean, because Deshaun's gonna get injured. Who knows what happens?
There you go. Yeah, you never know. Philly special card says y'all lost 3 in a row. Yeah, we did, but we were missing Trent Williams and Debo, and CMC was dinged up. So not like it was the whole full squad. And also, as I mentioned, Brock Purdy had a concussion for the 2 interceptions against the Vikings. And I think that he had lingering effects on the 2 interceptions he threw the next week versus the Bengals too. So you can celebrate all you want, little Sponge, but we ain't playing like that anymore. And the Eagles are like, dude, like, how many offensive touchdowns have the Eagles scored in the last 2 games? Like, I think it's only like 1 or 2. Not a lot.
Trash. Trash.
There you go. Chardall he's throwing the rap there, baby. Shout out to Hardcore Sports Network. Yeah, Hardcore Sports is cool. That's Mitch Kofsky. He's been on the show. He's an Eagles fan. He came on Eagles Week. I had 6 Eagles content creators on that week. I was super busy. A lot of fun. We got Daniel Berry Sports Highlights in the house saying, yo, check out his channel, folks. Lee Gallen says, Ted is a giant. Don't let the video fool you. I'm definitely a big guy. I'm like built like a nose tackle. But there was a Scottish guy there who had to have been 6'8", 450. I mean, the guy was just a mountain, and he was wearing a kilt. He was just a monster of a man. So he's the giant. I'm a big guy for sure. I'm definitely stout, you might say. Chardall says he's a spicy man. There you go. And who onto the NSC? Shut up, you pants scrubber. Nice. Get him. Philly fans reaching. Yeah. Crack on, buddy. Yeah, Philly fans, they got to be reeling. They've been really quiet on the timeline.
Well, yeah, because they know they gotta shut up right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Although Elliott Shore Park, one of the reporters, is still talking about Jalen Hurts winning the MVP. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
I don't want any quarterback to win the MVP this year.
It should be CMC.
I like him, and I like Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I think they're both incredible. Yeah,
if Tyreek Hill gets 2,000, give it to him.
I would love it because I'm so sick of it being the MVQ award, right? The most valuable quarterback, because that's all the MVP pretty much ever.
Exactly, and I hate it.
He says, no sub to my channel, Ted. All right. Is it just called Philly Special Cards? I'll do it right now. I honestly, I don't think I even knew you had a channel, honestly. But let me fix that sponge. There we go. Subscribe. Boom. I am number 60. So fixed it. There you go, sponge. Absolutely. That was not on purpose. I just didn't even realize you had a channel. Chardall. Oh boy. It's getting real spicy. Scott was James Waters, a giant. Yeah. I mean, the guy was massive. His legs look like tree trunks. Joe Flacco's a beast. All blue hens are made of wood. There you go. Oh, because Randy Daytona, he went to Maryland.
I gave Philly a sub too.
There you go. You got two. Twofer. There you go. That's awesome. Oh, he's 6'7". Okay. I was off by an inch. My bad. I just knew he was much taller than me. I used to be 6'1", and I've shrunk a little. I'm down to about 6 foot. And he towered over me for sure. And much taller, much wider.
There, I got SG too. I gave SG a sub too.
There you go. Everybody's getting lucky today. Elite Randy in the house. Let's keep it sports, please. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have encouraged him there. There you go. That's nice. There we go. All right. Everybody's good. Good. Keep it to sports. Yeah, I think that's best when we do that.
God.
61 subs and counting. Everybody be sure and sub to Philly Sports World Cards. James Renall saying top 7. He says, no, I'm a pimp. I love it. I'm done. UFD. Delaware. Sorry.
I really pimp like to be in the chat trying to holler at a chick. You know,
right. The Maryland is the Turk. UFD is the Blue Hens.
She here to talk sports, not talk about anything else. So you gotta start talking sports to wow her, not try to hit on her in the chat.
This chat is wild, no doubt about it. Boom.
Nah, that ain't the boom boom room yet. You want to start being ladies, man? We'll turn this right to the ladies' man show.
Oh, nice. So, had a Browns fan in my mentions say that he felt like the Browns defense is still number one. At least he in a couple of different respects it is. Because there's lots of different ways to evaluate defenses, right? Like there's yards, and then there's scoring, there's turnovers, and they're all important. And if you lead in all of them, obviously, then you're the best. But when you lead in one or two, and some other teams better in one or two, it gets a little murkier, right? It's not.
Yeah, I can't say we're number one. Like we do have, we do lead in certain categories. You guys lead in certain categories. I think the Ravens lead in certain categories. To me, it's 1A, 1B, 1C right now with a lot of things, but we got a lot of injuries. So I can't even put us up there like that. Even though we're still holding our own with those categories, I'm not going to do it.
I just sent you the chart. Maybe I can find a way to put it up here. We go to present and share screen.
Wow, what the hell?
Oh, maybe not. 2 monitors. I don't know.
That's crazy that they're that far up there.
Yeah, and both EPA per play. And what was the other one?
Success rate. Success rate allowed. That's nuts. I mean,
anyway,
that's a hell of a stat. Those stats right there.
It is, because I was griefing them, your fan base. But this is before we met. But back in week 6, you guys had that historic 1,002 yards allowed in 5 games, or maybe it's week 7 because you guys had a bye or something like that. But and I was just pointing out, like, I think we maybe talked about this, but like, hey, yeah, they're historic. Like, no team has given up that few yards since the 1971 Colts. Yeah, I get it, but I think they're also overrated. I think they're great, but overrated. Like, great but overrated. You can't be great but overrated. And I'm like, yeah, you can. You can be great but not historically great. And that's what I was saying that the Browns D was, because, and it wasn't like definitive. I was just saying, there were a few offenses that you guys had faced out of those 5 teams that were kind of anemic. The Bengals were 32nd in yards gained. The Steelers were 30th. The Titans were 26th. And obviously my Niners were heavily banged up with, Trent Williams, Debo, and CMC all either out or playing hurt in that game.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, you need those 3 players to be great. And it's like, yeah, you do. I mean, they're not just our best 3 offensive players. Like,
I'll tell you right now, if you guys didn't have CMC this year, you guys wouldn't be doing all this.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I think to me, he's your MVP on your squad. That's your man.
He's the key.
You go as he goes.
Yeah. He's the V12 that makes Kyle's system roar, I like to say. So, or the V8, I guess, if we're going American. But yeah, no doubt about it. So let's see here. So, am I really behind again? No.
Red Jet, I'm not saying nothing wrong with CMC. I'm saying if he isn't there, that's when you guys got problems. He should win the MVP in a sense. Yeah, Leon Phelps.
Is that the Saturday Night Live guy?
Yeah, and then he had a movie. It's called The Ladies' Man. He did a whole movie about it.
Ah, I missed that one. Everybody's just laughing. All right, good luck, Nancy. Hope you nail it. Well, you can always catch us on rewatch later, too. So that's the good news. Just keep track of the timestamp, 30 minutes in, and then that way you don't have to rewatch a bunch of stuff that you already watched. That's the trick. Shell, will you be on Friday night show tomorrow? Oh. Which Friday night show is that? Keep us posted.
Nah, Cleveland isn't out of it. They're gonna make the playoffs. I'm not worried about that.
I think so too. I've been saying that all along, haven't I? I've been pretty clear.
And how we were talking about the defense, I think that had a lot to do with the offense not being primed and ready and having injuries on it, because they were off the field. The defense was on the field a good chunk of the game, and them being beat up and wore down, then it causes them. I mean, you can't be on the field.
Are you talking about the Lions losing to the Bears?
Huh?
Talking about the Lions losing to the Bears?
No, I was talking about when you were talking about the Browns defense earlier in the year. And they got beat down because the offense wasn't doing anything, so they were on the field 80% of the damn time. I mean, yeah,
Chardall's saying the Browns 55-40. Come on, Chardall. You're joking.
he just
Nobody's
pressed the button.
scored. What's the highest points the Browns defense have given up all season? I bet it's barely over 30.
I think it was 38 to the Colts.
38. That's right. The next week after they play us. That's right. I had that big argument with all the Browns fans about it. And like the very next week, the Colts hung like 470 yards and 38 points.
But I also feel, again, that's why my point is our offense couldn't do anything because we had PJ going again. And
then the defense can't rest.
The defense just sitting out there the entire game. That causes issues.
You get tired. Yeah, no doubt about it. That's not fair to anyone.
The Browns are going to beat the Bears. Listen, you remember the last time the Browns played the Bears? They had, you know how many yards they had? One.
How many? But
1 yard.
But they've got who's
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
I'm not worried about him.
And Justin Fields is finally starting to play like the quarterback that I thought he could be when he was my 1A in that draft. I had Fields 1A, Lance 1B. I had Lawrence 3rd. I had Zach Wilson 4th, and I had Mac Jones 5th. And look at how this is working out. Mac Jones, come on, man. He just got
trash can.
Zappy. I'm like, yeah.
Bailey Zappy out there.
I was like, he is nothing but a product of his weapons. And that's my problem I have with Purdy, too. But, man, it's just getting harder and harder to argue agast Purdy.
You got Zeke out there running like crazy, like the old school Zeke for them.
They're so pretty, the balls he's throwing. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to doubt him. We'll see. Go Bears. Oh, stop. Was Chardall the one who was saying that you guys were going to like lose out the rest of the season? Is he the one a few weeks back?
Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah. Right, look, I love
Chardall, you're already wrong there. So
I love that hate. It's cool. Bring all of it.
Hell no. Run CMC. Yeah, he's the real MVP, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see both. I mean, I can see arguments for both. I'm not poo-pooing Purdy. I'm just saying I think CMC is more important. Niners knew that they're – because then people say, well, look at the NFC Championship game. We had CMC and Purdy went out and like we did. Well, that's because Purdy was our third QB. And then we went to freaking Josh Johnson. If Purdy got injured and like Jimmy Garoppolo came in or Trey Lance came in, we had a different shot against the Eagles last year. It's just that we're so far down the depth chart already. Josh Johnson, man, he's not going to win anything for anybody. Let me tell you, he's not a starter here. He's not a starter anywhere else.
Nope.
That's the part that people, that's the fallacy in that argument, in my opinion. Niners knew they were doing something to snatch up CMC like a cheap suit. Yeah, not that cheap. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It was pricey, but boy, it's sure looking like a deal now. The MVP is Kyle, and Brock is why everyone else is better. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other part. Kyle, the weapons, the O-line. People are like, oh, the O-line's 22nd. I'm like, bullshit, man. It's not even close to 22nd when Trent Williams is healthy. It just looks worse because he was out for a while. And also because we had Burford in there. Now we got Feliciano in there. It's looking a lot better. It's crazy. Go CMC. Absolutely. Bryant Culp show. Oh, this Friday. Okay, cool. Well, I'll have to try and check it out. It's hard for me in the evenings, but because I'm always on daddy duty, but I'll do my best. Maybe I can do it from my phone. CMC ever win a Super Bowl with Cam? But Cam was washed by the time CMC got drafted.
Yeah, he never won no Super Bowl.
No, but they also they had Steve Smith, right? The wide receiver.
Yeah, they had a team. Yeah, but they didn't win a Super Bowl.
But he's just saying like CMC is so good, but I don't think CMC was as good back then either. I think he's gotten better with age, like a fine wine. He, just like Kyle says, he's like the best player off ball. He's always running hard. It's kind of like Steph. There's another Steph Curry analogy because Steph Curry is probably the best player in the NBA off ball, always running hard, getting open, popping free for a three. In CMC. Oh,
I mean, when you got like 20 picks set for you,
I'm mixing them up though. I was talking Steph and Brock earlier. Now I'm talking Steph and CMC. I always say CMC has gravity like Steph though, where like everybody's eyes are on Steph. Whereas he did it, and then somebody backdoors you, the Kuminga or some nobody, slam dunks because no one was watching him. The same thing with CMC. Like, not that our other guys are nobodies, but they're a lot more somebodies than they would be if it wasn't for CMC. He takes a lot of attention from a defense. You can't argue with the employee doing his job, especially when he's never late and never takes time off. Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, he did take time off, but it was during the off season. So, and well, or you could say the Super Bowl, right? But hey, I'm with you, Shell. I'm with you. Jimmy Trey loss. Oh, all right, that's your opinion. I mean, if you look at the stats last year of Jimmy and Purdy, they were pretty much identical when they both had CMC. I can pull them up. And if you're actually, I will pull them up. Let's do that. Why threaten and then not just do it? That's going to take me a quick sec here, but I think it's under Jimmy. But yeah, they were ridiculously similar. Jimmy was 4-0 with CMC. Purdy was 5-0. Here we go. So 5-game comparison. Here they are. So Purdy 69% completion. Jimmy 71%. So Jimmy's 2% better. Yards per game, Jimmy 246, Purdy 219. So Purdy had 27, or Jimmy had 27 more yards a game. Then they start to go in Purdy's favor. Jimmy 2 TDs per game, Purdy 2.4. Both 0.4 turnovers per game. Like, come on. And then both were undefeated. 4-0 and 5-0. Like, it's way closer than people want to admit. Now, I will say Purdy's playing a lot better now, but like in the NFC Championship game, in the Cowboys game, Purdy wasn't that great. I mean, we had one kind of, call it lucky, catch by Kittle, kind of broke that game open. And other than that, it was a dogfight. So it was pretty pitched battle with us and the Cowboys. And also, Pollard got injured in the first half on a hip drop tackle by Jimmy Ward, which now that Mark Andrews has gotten injured from it, they're talking about outlawing it finally, which
that's crazy, man.
It is, because it's so hard to tackle people already.
That's it. We're gonna just put flags on everybody, and that's how it's the end. You might as well get rid of this shit. This is getting stupid, man. You're not allowed to hit nobody above the waist or below the waist. It has to be right in that line. You can't throw them to the ground. You can't do this, can't do that.
Yeah, no suplex. We learned that against the Eagles when Dre suplexed Devonta Smith, and then Fat Dom DeSantis or whatever his name is, the freaking security guard got involved.
Yeah.
And then Dre got ejected. I mean, what a travesty that was. What a travesty. Awful.
I don't know. They need to stop doing this shit. They need, just like they made the NBA soft as hell, they need to not do this to the NFL. Do not make the NFL soft.
Randy Elite Daytona. Sorry, I haven't. He's doing that to mock me because he says Purdy's elite. And I'm getting a lot closer to, like, I mean, if, like, when I say 3-7, if Purdy's 3 or 4, like, to me, that's elite. So it's just the 5 and 6 aren't this year with Rodgers and Burrow out. Maybe even 4 might not be. I think there's at least 3 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. So I'm just not saying Purdy's one of them yet. Our O-line has been sneaking in under the radar. Yeah, they're definitely been doing pretty well lately. CMC is the ladies' man. Shardock can't help himself. Steve-O's Customs in the house. Check him out, folks. He does custom sneaks. So if anybody wants more than that, but if you want custom sneaks or other custom art graphics done on clothing and etc., check out Steve-O's Customs. They had weapons. I think he's talking about the Panthers. They did, but they didn't have, like, we're talking about the best weapons right now. And now people are starting to say about the Niners weapons, the best weapons maybe all time, So, I mean, people, that I think, again, is hyperbole, especially being a Niner fan. I feel like
it sounds like Cleveland fans saying the Cleveland's defense is the best all time. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
shit.
No, I mean, we got
some good weapons. Don't get me wrong.
I remember the '89 Niners team, and I remember the '94 Niners team, the Super Bowl winning teams, and those offenses were pretty stacked. Like with Rathman, Roger Craig, JT, JR, Brent Jones, and then sub out Roger Craig and Rathman, sticking Ricky Waters and William Barnum Floyd in '94. Those were some freaking ridiculous weapons groups. But we're getting there. We're getting there. It's the problem is Jerry Rice. It's just really hard. No matter how good Debo is, I won't say he'll never be Jerry Rice, but he's just very different. And but I mean, Kittle's better than Brent Jones, and Ayuk's better than Don Taylor.
That's what sucks. I don't understand that. You don't use
CMC is better than Roger Craig or Ricky Waters. I'll say that. I mean, CMC is ridiculous. And Juszczyk is right there with Rathman or Barnum. I'm not going to say he's better, but he's easily equal to either of them. So it's starting to get there, but not necessarily that the Niners have had the best weapons of all time. You have the greatest show on turf with the Rams. You have, some of Peyton Manning's groups were pretty up there. I know some of Brady's groups. Brady's Super Bowl win with the Bucs, he had some pretty elite weapons with Gronk, Mike Evans, Godwin, and what's the Fournette. That was a hell of a group there for sure. Oh, and just throwing Antonio Brown, who was towards the end of his career, but he still.
He wasn't certified crazy yet. He was getting there. It was about to be the end of it.
And then, well, especially if you look at the Super Bowl, like, everybody's like, oh, well, the weapons they added didn't make that much difference. I'm like, bullshit, man. They're the only ones who scored the Super Bowl was Gronk, AB, and Fournette. Like, none of the original weapons scored. So, but yeah, I get they had weapons. It's just we're at like elite level. And that's sort of what I called my show, I think, too, right? 49ers weapons are on a historic pace because CMC's at 1,000 yards. Ayuk's at 1,000 yards. Kittle could easily hit 1,000 yards, and so could Ayuk. And it's one of the few times ever that you have four weapons on a team all 1,000+ yards. So if there's any way it can happen, I'm sure Kyle will make sure it does. So finagle the targets. It'll be pretty cool. Very small sample, and it was early Purd. Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, Purdy got better a lot this offseason. When he was not looking good in camp, he was at least chucking it deep and working on it. And it's come together. He finally just said the other day that his arm is fine. I think a few weeks back, he told Aikman after the Vikings game it wasn't quite right. He's finally saying his arm is actually right now. It's like, I reported it at camp. I'm like, dude, Purdy's arm is not right. And it was like, oh, no, Ted. Kyle said it's fine. And I'm just
going to say that.
I was like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm there. I could see, like, every deep ball was short or long. And he threw tons of picks, tons of pick sixes, tons of drop picks. He was not good in camp. And that's why I was so pro Trey Lance, because Trey Lance was good in camp. But obviously, Kyle, I give Kyle a lot of grief about it. But I think he clearly picked right, and I was wrong. I'll say that I was definitely wrong. I mean, I think I still would have liked to have seen Trey Lance with CMC because we never did. But so I'm not writing him off completely. But like I said, I could see Trey Lance being better than Purdy was in 2022. I don't think no matter what happens, Trey Lance will ever be better than this version of Purdy. This is pretty exceptional. Yeah, and Jimmy was. Yeah, I know, I get that, Randy. But you said that Jimmy couldn't have beat the Eagles, and it has nothing to do with how long they've been playing. It just has to do with, I think Jimmy was close enough to Purdy. Don't get me wrong. When I spew out those stats that make it look like Jimmy was pretty close to even with Purdy, I mean, I'm not saying that Jimmy was as good as Purdy last year. He wasn't. Purdy was better by at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But just not as much as a lot of people want to think, is all I'm trying to say. CMC really helped Jimmy, just like he helped Purdy. But we just haven't seen Purdy much without him, so we wouldn't really know. I'm going with San Francisco 49ers over the Arizona Cardinals by 30-27. Wow, close game.
Yes, that's a little closer than I think, but
wow. I mean, it's definitely a trap game. There's no doubt that we're looking forward to the Ravens as much as we say we're not. You know, even yesterday on my show with Aaron, like we spent a lot of the time talking about the Ravens and not much time talking about the Cards. Part of it is because, like, who do you know on the Cards D? It's like Buda Baker, and I guess there's that one linebacker who's decent, Zaven Collins.
Yeah.
But I mean, after that, Dennis Gardeck, I don't know. It's just it's pretty thin. You know, Kyler's obviously real good. He's hurt us a lot in the past. That's the only chances. If he's running around getting a lot of late hit calls and us breaking contain. But I think we'll use a lot of the techniques we used on Hurts. I think we'll use a lot of them on Kyler, you know, because we got Kyler and then we got Lamar next week. Hopefully we'll keep using these same principles, which is like no spin moves for Bosa, no stunts, just like a pure bull rush, only as deep as the quarterback, and mush rush. Wait for everybody else before you go for the kill. Make sure he's totally surrounded and then go for the kill. So hopefully we can keep that same sort of tactic going. You know, just like how Bosa said, we figured out Jalen Hurts. It looked like the Cowboys learned from us. They sure did a good job containing Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, they're going down a rough path right now.
Couldn't be happier. Brock Purdy is going to throw over 400 yards. That I could see potentially. I don't know. 400 is a lot for Purdy. I mean, he threw for high 300s against the Seahawks, and I don't know. I think he'll be like 250 to 325 and a couple touchdowns would be my guess, but we'll see. Go Brocky, go. His name was Dom DeSandro. Thank you. Not DeSantis. That's the senator or the governor from Florida, wasn't it? Don,
Yeah, good old Ron.
Ron DeSantis. Thank you. Everyone in Philadelphia is named Don DeSandro. Nice, Randy. Dommy. Ted is the boss where if you came early and stay late, you still have to work weekends. Yeah, no, I'm a taskmaster. No free rides. OG in the house says Ted the man. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I always just say, no, I'm just a guy, you know, but hey, I appreciate that. I'm glad you think so. It makes me feel better for sure. I won't argue that, but while the time all of a sudden better than ever, what's new? It's Brock. Yeah, I mean, I said this a lot last year, which was like, we need a real QB to unlock our weapons. We have no idea how good these weapons are when you got Jimmy and Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard and Hoyer and all these guys thrown to him. Trey Lance, God bless him, wasn't that good, you know, in his 3 games that he played. I think he will get better, but, you know, he wasn't enough to unlock the weapons. And what's new? It's CMC too, though. It's CMC. He made a huge difference right when he got here, Randy. And then also having him this whole offseason to really game plan for him is a huge, huge difference too. So yeah. And Purdy has definitely improved. That's why I'm not that upset to say like I was wrong about Purdy, because I don't feel like I was wrong at the time. I'm just wrong now because he's made me wrong since.
It's not that you're wrong now. It's just he became what he is now. You're still not wrong.
Yeah.
You were right.
I was right at the time, I feel like. But hey, you know, different people disagree. A lot of them are getting blocked on the timeline. I'm doing a lot of blocking. People bringing up Trey Lance for no reason. I say something nice about Purdy, they bring up Trey. I'm like, you're blocked. Done. I used to warn people and get, you know, I actually like I don't spend enough time on here anymore to go through that hassle on Twitter. I'm just blocking people left and right. So we'll see. Dom DeSandro. There you go. Well, Little Spongy's an Eagles fan, so I'm sure he loves them. Goats will eat anything, including a lot of pizza and pasta, it looks like. Let's see. And I know he was banned from the sideline in Dallas, but like, is he going to be back when they play the Eagles? Is Dom? Because, you know, he didn't just scrap with with Dre Greenlaw, a couple weeks ago in Philly when we beat the Eagles. He also got involved when Trent Williams threw that guy down in the ground in the NFC Championship. Dom DeSandro was out there in the middle amongst the players, like pushing people around and getting physical. So like this is not his first time getting involved. Like, so I'm not a fan. I'd like to be removed from the sideline for good. He says, I'm just keeping the combo going. There you go. Honestly, it's only a trap if we allow it to get trapped. No, that's for sure true.
Yeah.
But it's just human nature to look ahead to the Ravens because they have, like I've been saying all along, like if the Niners statistically have the number one D, we have the number one scoring D.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not a huge stats guy. And I feel like if we're not the number one D, I feel like the Ravens are, or maybe the Browns, if they're healthy on defense. Those are three. And Cowboys are probably creeping back.
Yeah, the Cowboys were weird. They were letting stuff happen that shouldn't happen. I said, they were letting below 500 teams do damage, and that was a problem.
There you go. Carcast 49ers in the house. Make sure you check out his channel. Saying, yo. Shoto Gupta saying this will be homecoming for Brock Purdy. Yes, Brock grew up in Arizona. So he played high school ball there before he went to Iowa State. And so he's going to have a lot of family and friends there, which, can be a good thing. It could be, could make him nervous too. He doesn't seem like the type, but you never know what will make somebody nervous. That could be part of it. Trap Queen was created in Patterson, New Jersey. I played on East Side Ghosts every year in high school. Anyone watch Lean on Me? That's the school. Wow. So Randy's got a famous high school, famous Delaware College, University, whatever it's called, where Flacco went.
University of Delaware.
U of D. Pause. One player I really like to draft as rookie tight end for the Cardinals, Trey McBride. Yeah. I've been wanting a tight end who can block and catch forever, including at the trade deadline. Still hoping we might even get Ertz, even though he doesn't block, but he can catch nicely. But so far that hasn't happened.
Gotta use a tight end though. They're not even using Kittle properly. Yeah. I feel like you guys don't even use him.
It's just nice to not telegraph the play. When Warner comes in, you just know it's a run. Don't forget about small but speedy Rondale Moore. Yeah, he's a threat, but Hollywood Brown is dinged up. He's listed in red on our lads. James Conner's a big bruising back. They got Michael Carter, the running back from the Jets, is there. So they got some weapons on offense, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot. I rock with Brock, been rocking with him 100%. There you go. OJ. I turn off sports radio here at TED Talks Ball. Throw insights and great analysis. Wow, OJ, like how much do I owe you? I can see the check went through. But thank you. I really appreciate it. That's really great. Ted is a jag. Ted's a jag. Just a guy. Yeah, I'm just a guy. Absolutely. Not a star. I love me some McBride. Yeah, he's really good. Was really good in college. I guess he's doing pretty well there. You know who else I liked was they had a tight end named Max Williams with 2 X's, I believe, kind of like Max Crosby.
Yeah.
And he got torn off when we played them a couple years back. Emmanuel Mosley hit him right in the kneecap and like hyperextended his leg backwards and just tore his ACL and some other stuff. I don't know that he's ever come back 100% from that, but before that, when I saw he was a free agent a year or two ago, I was like, I'd love to get Max Williams. I think it must have been a year ago after he came back from the ACL. He played okay, and I was saying the Niners should pick him up. Maybe it was this year for this season. I like Max Williams, but yeah, McBride is. I remember him a lot as a prospect. I just don't know as much about what he's done since then.
Yeah, well, he's been good. He's a sophomore. He's had a good couple of years.
There you go. If you take QB out of the MVP conversation, Brock is, of course, off the table. It's just it just feels strange that it's only QBs that win it.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I mean, and then again, if a rookie QB comes in and does amazing things, they're like, "Nah, I can't be a rookie either." It's like, hold on, man. This is like, I don't think any QBs like QB. There's been a couple good QBs this year, but they've not really like separated themselves. There's nobody that's really standing out saying, "Up, that's the guy right there." Like QBs are just doing their thing, like they're supposed to be doing.
Carcast shots fired. I eat greater than Devonta Smith. Devontae Smith. Mr. Butterfingers. Oh man, brutal. Dom was also in a kerfuffle earlier. Was it? I think that was that besides the Trent Williams one? There's another one. There's a third one. Like this guy, get this guy the hell out of there, man. This guy is a
He's
fake
their
tough
man.
guy.
Go in there. He's the enforcer. He's
Ah,
out there.
the only thing he's enforcing is like some pepperoni pizza. Haha, UFD. How I never caught that. I'll never know, but it works today. Pause. Keep on brocking me, baby. We tried Brocktober, but that didn't work so well. OGLOL. What are your thoughts on Njoku for the Browns fan? His resiliency is crazy coming off those burns his face against the Niners. Yeah.
Listen, man, he is very resilient. He's a hell of a worker, hard ass worker. My problem is he needs to work on his hands some. He has to work on his hands more. He's having too many drops, but I love him in every sense of the word as our tight end. I think we need to re-sign him, make sure he stays here long term.
There you go. What's the game coming up tonight? Should we talk a little bit about the slate for the weekend for like us and obviously
Yeah, we
you
can.
think
I
you guys
mean,
are
the
beating
game
the
tonight
Bears.
is
I think we're beating the Cards.
the battle of the backups and the no
Oh,
superstars.
that's right. No Herbie, no Herbert.
No Herbert,
So
no
it's gonna
Keenan Allen, no Josh Jacobs. Devontae Adams is sick. I don't know if he's going to play. This game literally is trash against trash right now. This is what is happening here. And
feel like
I gave
every
it to the
team should
Raiders
do
because they're
that
at
on
home.
Thursday
I
night.
just figured the home trash will beat the away trash.
That's a good way to look at it. So it'll be is it gonna be Easton Stick? Is that the
Easton Stick, even though they signed Max Duggan back, which I'd rather let him play. Let that dude go out there and play and see what he's
yeah,
got.
yeah. I mean Easton
What a
Stick
name,
did a lot of
Easton
similar
Stick.
things to what Trey Lance did at NDSU, and nobody liked him.
Easton.
And then Trey Lance did it, and everybody went gaga over Trey.
How do you
So
name your kid that? Easton Stick.
I don't know. Well,
I just sound like it's an object. It's not even a person. Like,
I mean, you could name him Non
yeah,
or Big.
I was thinking the same thing, Randy. Was he named after the bat? Like, I don't know, man. It's
There you go.
Easton Stick. I mean, just having someone's last name be Stick is something crazy too. But
Let's see. I exchange words with. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Brocktober should never be. I should never have brought it up. I'm sorry, but you said keep on brocking me, baby. It made me think of it.
God,
Edgard Escoli in the house. Edgard is famously the first person to ever send me a super sticker or super chat when I monetize. So he'll
nice.
always be burned in my memory for that. So thanks again for that, Edgard. Yeah, please. It was epic. Randy Elite Daytona. I love 49ers. Bros, Ted. Yeah. And Mike's a Browns bros, just so you know. So let's see. So we got that game tonight. And then if we're looking at the rest of the slate for this weekend,
3 Saturday games.
So yeah, we're right. Vikings Bengals on Saturday.
And
I got Brownings Bengals.
Yeah, the Browning Bengals. Listen, that's JB6 over there.
Favored by 3.
Listen to this. You know what I said? I threw this at my boy Jay because he's a Bengals fan. I said maybe it's time to trade Burrow. He goes, "What?" I go, "Hear me out." I go, if Browning does his thing, gets the Bengals in the playoffs and do some crazy shit, maybe
Purdy 2.0.
Maybe do something right. Look, you know what you could
maybe get him an O-line.
You know what you could get for Burrow? You could go right to Minnesota, call Minnesota straight up and say, you don't gotta keep Kirk around. You're gonna get rid of him anyways. Have Burrow give us 3 first rounders, and I want Jet.
Justin Jefferson.
And look, franchise tag Higgins and then send him too.
But you can't take away Jefferson because that's another LSU weapon that he played with. Like that, you got to have that, like the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson synergy.
They want a quarterback for their future. They're going to have to get. They were talking about trading Jet now. So, all right, well, good. Trade away.
Wow.
We'll send Higgins back. We'll franchise tag Higgins, or Bengals will, and send him too. I was just messing around. It was funny because he was getting mad. I'm like, I'm just messing around. I know that's not happening. But yes, I think the Bengals beat the hell out of Minnesota. They don't got no damn defense. Sean Mannion, I think, is going to be their starter. They're not going to start Dobbs for some reason. The Jets still a little hurt. He's a little roughed up. So
there you go. Randy says I watch things in times. You can do that. Oh, that's kind of cool. I guess you watch a show at double speed. So we're like,
oh yeah, you can do that. That way it gets you through it, and you can, you get the view and all that.
I never even knew that existed. Thanks, Randy. That's an interesting tidbit to
learn. Isn't the Colts and the Steelers on Saturday too? That's the next game, I think.
Yeah, Colts and Steelers. Colts is favored by 1.5. Is Pickett back? That's my question. If it's Mitch Trubisky, they ain't winning.
No, Pickett isn't back, and it's Trash Bisky. It really is Trash Bisky. He's going to be playing. And then you got Mason Rudolph, who's probably going to step in real soon. So
he's pretty bad too, though.
Colts win that game. Bengals, Colts, and then the late game is.
I like Gardner. I like Mustache Mania over Trash Bisky.
The boy Mustache, Jean Shorts, Minshew. You got it. Yeah,
he's one of the best backup QBs in the league. So,
who's the late game?
On Saturday.
Yeah,
Broncos Lions.
Listen, Lions are doing what the Lions
favored by 4.5.
Lions are shitting the bed, and they're doing it late instead of early, and the Broncos are going to win. The Broncos are making
hot.
Dude, they're going to win the division. I think the Chiefs fall, and the Broncos take that division. Chiefs are looking real stupid on how they are, all that crybaby shit. I hope they go in there thinking they're going to beat the Patriots, like whoop them in Foxborough. Belichick's last year, it already came out. They're done, right? Belichick's done. He's moving on, or he's retiring. Whatever the hell's going to happen there. I bet you Belichick got some shit up his sleeve. They're ready to start knocking people off their little stool saying, hey, buddy, you ain't shit. And just start knocking. I mean, he did it already with the Steelers. He's starting to make ground. I think he's going to do it. Watch. He's going to make the Chiefs feel it.
There you go. And it's interesting. Randy says, let's have so much crap in my head because he listens to twice as much as dumbasses like me. You don't even know you can speed it up. But it'll be helpful for me, too. Sometimes I rewatch my shows looking for shorts. And I don't need to hear myself at regular speed. Like, hell.
Yeah.
I'd be just as happy to make that end twice as quickly. That's cool.
So who do you got? You got Broncos or the Lions?
I think the Lions are going to bounce back. I think the Lions. I think they had a little blip, and it was divisional as the Bears. I don't think they're.
They've been blipping for weeks. They've been blipping since Thanksgiving.
But they're what are they? They're 10-3. Are they 9-4? What are they?
I think they're 8-5.
9-4.
9-4. Listen,
only one more loss than we have. I don't know.
They're losing.
But I guess it's recency. By recency, it matters. Yeah, no matters how hot you are.
I think Russ is cooking. He's stepping up. He's becoming the executive chef again. He went
I
from
always believed in Russ.
The head of line. Now he's a
suit. He freaking owned us. So I thought he would rebound this year after last year. I said I thought Russ would do better. I didn't think maybe this much better. But I don't know.
That run game is trash.
Yeah, and I just feel like Jerry Jeudy, I don't know. I just don't trust him. Broncos, baby. There you go. Now, the only Broncos I like are Santa Clara Broncos, where I went to college or university, SCU. Interesting. All right, so that's Saturday's slate.
All right.
So then Sunday, we got you guys topping that chart. Browns favored by 3. So I would take the Browns Browns
I'll
minus
take the
3.
Browns and give the points.
Yeah, me too. Bucks and Packers. Packers minus 3.5. I like the Packers.
Yeah, I like Jay Love to bounce back. I think
Jordan Love's, he looks good.
and I think Aaron Jones is back. He didn't
That's
play. He
huge.
hasn't played in a couple weeks, so I think that'll be a good
Talk
thing.
about how important CMC is, and Aaron Jones is. I mean, he's not CMC, but he's one
a
of
good
the
back, but yes,
can run and catch backs.
Yep.
Texans and Titans.
Look, Stroud's
Titans are favored by 3.
Stroud's still in concussion protocol right now, so
Wow.
I don't think he's going to play. So it's going to be
Tank Dell,
Davis Mills.
No
Tank Dell. Nico Collins might not play.
Collins, yeah.
Will Mayo coming big. They're going to get 2 in a row.
Mayonnaise.
I mean, look what he did. 5 minutes in that game. He led them to that win.
He did? I don't know.
They beat the Dolphins on Monday night.
Well, I knew that. I wasn't watching. So
the Dolphins were up 27 to 14 with 5.5 minutes left in that game.
Wow.
And Will Mayo brought them right back.
Wow. Mailman delivering. All right. Jets and Dolphins.
Dolphins are going to destroy them just because they're pissed.
9.5-point favorites. Chiefs, Patsies.
I got to say the Chiefs, but dude, I really feel like the Patriots are going to give them some problems.
Yeah. You take the Pats and the 7.5.
Yeah, I'll take the Pats and the points.
I will too. I like it. Just praying for Kermit's downfall. Ever since
I just want to hear him cry some more.
Cry,
I'm like, Berlin, go shut up. Get out of here.
Is T Swizzle going to be there? That's the big question. I think
she's sick and tired of seeing him look like trash. I think she's ready to go sit down somewhere else too.
There we go. You already said you like Giants.
Yes, I love
Saints. And you're getting 6 points too.
Yep. I love Tommy the Meatball to win that game.
That's huge.
They're looking good, and he's got that team running right.
I'm with you. Falcons, Panthers. I mean, Panthers. Sad they're tanking for a pick that's not theirs.
I'm taking the Falcons though. I think they're going to be good. Drake London's starting to step up some more. Bijan's being used correctly. Their defense is playing. I like the Falcons.
Yeah. All right. And it's not. You got to remember though too. Yeah, their first round pick is gone, but then they still pick first in every other round after that. That counts too. Especially second, third, and fourth round, you can still get some good players.
Oh, Randy, I call him Tommy the Meatball. I don't call him Tommy Cutlets. I can't copy that. I'm Tommy the Meatball.
There you go. So we got Commandos, Rams.
The Rams are going to win that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Commanders are. They're going to be looking. They're going to get a new coach.
I had a Rams fan trying to tell me on the timeline when he said the Lions don't belong in the top 10. I said, who are you putting in there? He said Rams. I'm like, oh man, of course you're a Rams fan.
What's the Rams record? They don't even have a winning record right now.
They don't.
They're 6-7, aren't they?
6-7.
No, what? Listen, I had a dude argue with me saying that the Titans should be in the top 10 and the Dolphins shouldn't because the Titans won that game. I'm like, please come on now.
Recency bias.
It's not top 10
Prisoner of the moment.
It's top 10 teams overall. It changes every week. People go in, out.
Send him a cake. Send him a cake with a file on it. Tell him to break out of his prisoner of the moment self.
The Titans are the bottom of their own division. They're not the top 10 of the league. I don't care that they came back with 5.5 minutes left. Yes. Tommy the meatball Tommy.
Tommy.
Dude, did you see his agent?
Game of the week. Cowboys, Bills.
Cowboys.
So and you're getting 2 points too.
I like. They're on the road, but you know what? I don't ever pick the Cowboys against anybody that's got a winning record, but I'm gonna take the Cowboys because I think they're riding a high, and I think they know how to sustain that high a little bit.
All right. I'm breaking with our, happy, stuff here. I'm definitely taking the Bills, partly because I like Josh Allen and partly because I hate the Cowboys. And so I'm letting my heart sway in my head.
That's all right. And to be honest, I think it's going to be close. It'll be one of those games.
We need some help to make sure it's not any kind of tiebreaker or anything like that. Or maybe we could rest at the end of the season. I don't know.
Here, take this hot take. I bet Josh Allen throws a pick 6.
Oh, wow.
I bet he does.
For on Bland?
Yep.
Or
I bet
to
pick 6.
Gilmore?
I bet he throws it a pick 6. And Gilmore got pissed off last week after AJ went in there and called him old, and Gilmore shut him the hell down. I think Gilmore's fired up for the rest of this year. That might be bad news for people.
There you go. There you go. Let's see what else we got. Ravens, Jags. That's another game of the week.
Jags. This is a must win in a sense for the Jags. They have to start winning because they don't have a whole lot coming for them. But the Ravens, this starts a 3-game set of craziness because they got the Jags, they got you, and then they got Miami.
Yeah, it's brutal. Brutal. I'm going Ravens for sure, even with giving up 3 points. I'll take the Ravens -3.
I think Trevor Lawrence does better than he did the last couple weeks, but I still think the Ravens win.
All right. And then Eagles, Seahawks, the Bird Bowl. Eagles favored only by 3.5. That's interesting.
It's in Seattle, too.
That could be why.
Well, you know what? I don't know. Drew Lock. I don't like Drew Lock. Drew Lock.
I mean, is Geno out for sure?
I don't know. I mean, Drew Lock. Didn't Drew Lock just play against you guys?
Yeah. I feel like Geno was questionable last week. I think he'll play. I think Geno's
he might play, but I'm still going to take the Eagles. I'll fly Eagles fly with that one because.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Seahawks, but I'm expecting the Eagles to win. That's just
that's how you got to look at it because I don't know. I would love the Jags. See, my problem is I would love the Ravens to lose, but I also want the spread in the tiebreakers and everything for the Browns to get bigger. So if the Jags lose, that helps us out. That makes that much more harder for us not to be in the playoffs.
There you go. Hey, real quick, I'm going to pause for a commercial break.
Get your money.
Sponsored by the Travelstead Group, TTG. Yeah, you know me. They do transportation and warehousing for brick and mortar. They do FFE, which is fixed furniture and equipment. They do OSE, which is operating supplies and equipment. They do new store openings, rollouts, relocations, decommissions from the first mile to the final mile and everywhere in between. Travelstead has you covered. Let them know how they can help you via air, ocean, or land. They do closed loop solutions for retail and hospitality. Nick and Henry are the go-to guys there. They have 100% US-based support. So it's important because these are complex operations. It's lots of fine-tuning, sometimes even snafus. And it's good to know when you pick up the phone, you're not going to have some call center overseas where they have no clue what you do. Click the link in the description for the show. Check out the video. The link is also in my Twitter bio, my YouTube About page, Insta, Facebook, wherever you follow me. Click it. Check it out. Tell them Ted sent you. Thanks in advance. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, audience. Appreciate it, everybody.
Hey, listen, let me get something out there. Look, if you guys got TikTok, go and follow me. I need the follows at the Man Cave 10. Go follow me on TikTok.
Do it.
A lot of funny stuff I put out there. Jay doesn't get on there as much. It's usually just me doing all sorts of crazy shit, but it's good content. You'll love it. If not, you don't got to pay attention. Just I need the follow.
There you go. That's the same with me on YouTube. I'm monetized. I got the view hours. I just need the subs to get that ad revenue.
I want to get up there too with that, but once I get that TikTok live, I think it'll help me a lot more.
Absolutely. I'm sure it will. TikTok is blowing up. TikTok is spyware. Computers don't like me. Well, just use your phone then. You don't have to worry about it. But then you do have to give them your camera and mic and pictures, but then turn it off after you set it up. That's the trick. So they're not spying on you. So what else? What's that? How you feel about the state of the AFC?
They're worried about my ass, and they got their own damn problems. They're wasting money on watching us regular people.
There you go. Do you think the Dolphins are the best team in the AFC?
Hell no.
You think?
Listen, they have a great offense when Hill's out there. Look, you notice in that game, Tyreek Hill left in the first quarter. The offense became stagnant. It became very stagnant. And then he came back, and even though he didn't do a lot, it opened up a little more because now you had to worry about Tyreek again. No, the Dolphins are not the best team in the AFC. You got to go with the Ravens. You have to go with the Ravens.
Right. I'm sorry. Do you think the Dolphins are the second best team in the AFC? You're right. I had the Ravens as the best too. You're right.
Yeah, Ravens are the best. Are the Dolphins the second best?
Because you can't give it to the Chiefs, can you?
No, hell no.
Can't give it to you guys because you're too injured.
Yeah,
Can't give it to the Steelers because they're not even close.
Listen, we're the only team
Bills are pretty injured.
I don't think the Bills make the playoffs, so I'm not caring about the Bills at all.
So the Jags?
No, I guess I'm going to have to make them be the second best, even though I don't
Texans
like
were
it.
coming up, but they just fell apart.
I'm not big on their defense. I mean, they had some good stuff, but again, they were playing the Titans.
Yeah.
But their secondary is the only thing I really like on the Dolphins defense.
Yeah, Ramsey, Xavier Howard.
Yeah, the front seven isn't all that great.
Holland's their safety, right? He's really good.
Yeah.
Javon Holland, something like that.
So I guess you got to give them the silver star over there, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it.
What about the Browning Bengals? They're I think they're right there.
They're coming. Listen. There's still possibility. Well, no, not really. If Trash Bisky's the Steelers quarterback, they're falling all the way out. The Bengals, I think, can make the playoffs. I think they do make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so too. It's crazy to say without Joe Burrow. I mean, what a great quarterback he is.
I mean, look, JB.
It's not saying that Burrow is not great. It's saying Browning is incredible for such a young quarterback.
And he hasn't thrown a ball since 21.
Yeah. It's amazing. I agree. Debo or Reek is out. Game can go to hell. That's mostly because of the game plan that's already in place with chance to prepare. Knowing Debo or Reek will be out, I believe coaches adjust. Sort of, but it's like with the Niners, I'll speak for us. I don't know the Dolphins roster as well, but with the Niners, like we're top heavy, man. We're paying Debo $23 million a year. Yeah. We're paying CMC the most of any running back, $12 million. I mean, it's really actually 16, but the Panthers ate some, and we're paying him 12. You know, we're paying Fred Warner 18.5 or 18 million a year. We're paying Bosa more than any non-QB. We're paying, and that hasn't really kicked in yet, but you know, you just go down with Trent Williams, highest paid tackle. At least he was for a long time. So, you know, Juice, highest paid fullback. And most teams don't even have a freaking fullback. And we got the highest paid one, you know. So when you got all those guys like that, then they go out, then it's really hard to have quality depth behind them, no matter how much preparation you have.
And I agree. You can look at it. I look at it that way too. And if I go Brown's perspective on that, Chubb, we lost Chubb. That changed a lot because now teams, they're not scared of our run whatsoever. They're not worried about that. So they are literally just guarding our pass because, again, we had Jerome Ford. We didn't have Hunt for a couple weeks after that. And even then, you're still not afraid of these guys all like that. You got Chubb in there. That changes the game. That whole game plan has changed. You can handball to Chubb 6 times and he has 60 yards. You're like, all right, dude, look, he's eating alive. And now you can start throwing the ball and it's open. It's like target practice. Now you're just launching the ball out there and people are wide open because they're worried about Chubb.
Chubb and Deshaun Watson are 2 huge losses. And then a lot of O-linemen too, right?
I would have been, hey, listen, I'll tell you right now. If we had Chubb without Deshaun and Deshaun got hurt, whatever still, right now, if Chubb was healthy this whole time, I'm talking about us being number 1 in the AFC.
I could see that.
I think we only lose 2 games.
Wow.
Because Chubb changes. It's like Debo or it's like Reek. It changes the whole perspective of a game.
Yeah, Chubb is.
Or CMC. Like if CMC's out, it changes.
He's not as good of a receiver as CMC, but he's a much better pure runner for sure. So
yeah. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't catch the ball. We really never used him like that. But yeah, he's more of a. He knows how to spot and jump juke and be able to move aggressively.
Jump juke, baby. Love it. Well, we're coming up on an hour and 20 minutes. I feel like we've covered most of what we wanted to. Was there anything you wanted to talk about? Anything you got coming up that you want to promote?
Nah, it's just same old same. Every Tuesday, 6:30, live at the Man Cave 8172, do Sports Madness. Wednesday, Relax Wednesdays, usually every other week, talking anything, everything, and nothing, just chilling out, relaxing. That's at 6:30 Eastern. Again, the Man Cave 8172. Then I do the AFC North show at 8 o'clock Eastern with Bobby G on the Let's Talk Sports Network, talking all AFC North. And then I'm right here with you, my man. We doing our thing with the faithful Dawgs, 5 o'clock, 5:30 Eastern.
Right on, right on. Yeah, I've got Balling with Bash and Ted tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern. Mondays, as usual, I voted for Pedro's show at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. No Borders, Ryan from No Border Sports is No BS Ted on Tuesdays at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. And then First and Ted every Wednesday at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. And we're back together next Thursday. And then after next Thursday, I'll be out of town. We're going to be away for Christmas through till about the 4th of January. But I might be able to sneak some shows in. So I'm not saying no. It's just saying
we
it'll be more of a game time decision.
Here's what we're going to do right now. We'll do it right now. We'll take that break, that week break. Enjoy your vacation, man. Screw having to do all this and go enjoy Hawaii.
I enjoy this, though. So that's the thing. It's like,
go enjoy Hawaii.
I'm not going to take the jersey, but I mean, I might. Do whatever
select shows you want to. You can say this is your break right here because I'll tell you right now, we do the same thing on our shows. Sometimes we break, and that'll be a week because again, you got Christmas, then you got New Year's,
you can plan other stuff, and you're not sitting there waiting. And then I'm
exactly. Yeah, do you in Hawaii? You're not supposed to be stuck at this computer screen.
So no faithful Dawgs the week of that's Thursday the 28th of December. But then the following week, even the Thursday the 4th, I think we're flying back too. So
look, if you need to do that too, again, it's vacation time, my man.
Well, let's say for sure we're off on the 4th because we're flying that day. So like that.
Like I said,
let me see. Maybe we're flying on the 5th. I'll find out. I'll DM you, but for sure we're off the 28th, and maybe it'll be 2 weeks. All right, we'll be jonesing for some talk. It's gonna be like practically playoffs by the time we get back.
Yeah, by that time that'll be the week before. That'll be the last week. We'll be coming up on the last
end, much to Shardul Gupta's chagrin. Is constantly predicting your guys' demise. All right. Well, thanks everybody who tuned in. Thank you, Mike, for being my host on the Weekly Bit.
Always. I enjoy this, man. Thanks for having me all the time.
And I'll just say peace and go Niners.
Woo-hoo.